Okay friends, got back home from the fishing trip and just had a great time with Bill out there, and man, we just caught a whole bunch of them. So I thought that what we do today is I would go ahead and I've had the fish on ice, so I thought I'd go ahead and fillet some of these up and put them in bags and get them ready for the freezer, and then maybe cook some up. Okay, stick with me. Well, we ended up catching 8 crappie and a bunch of white bass and a couple of hybrid striped bass, and so I'm just going to go ahead and fillet them up. And this is how I usually fillet them. I'll cut right in behind and then run it right along. You can feel the bones, just keep it going right along the edge of the bones there. There we go. You see these little dark lines going up? That's the nerves, and they run right between the backbones, so you know that you're close right on it there. Well, these crappie are just so tender. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited about this. This is my wife's favorite fish. I told Bill, I said, well, we keep catching crappie and she's going to be begging me to go fishing. Okay, and then just follow them ribs all the way on down. Just like that. And I'll usually just take it, cut straight down to the skin, and just lay your blade as flat as you can get it. Look at there. That's a nice boneless fillet. And crappie is one of the nicest white meat fish that is totally unfishy that you can catch. Like I said, it's my favorite. You know, I think that's the best fishing trip I've ever been on. It seemed like no matter where we were, the fish were biting. And I'll tell you what, he had a bass boat with a 175 horsepower motor on it, and I'm just pretty much used to a John boat with a 9.9. So that was a heck of a trip. We ended up getting to our fishing spot. We ended up getting there in about 5 or 6 minutes. It took a while for the sound to catch up to us, but I mean, we just blasted down through there. Good gravy. Look at that. Oh my. And you know, while we were there, I met Bill's good friends Tom and Tom, both named Tom, and they were fishing. And anyway, they ended up, once we got back to the house, they ended up calling and saying, hey, you think Brian would want some more fish? And ended up going over there, and they had a nice bucket full of fish, and just blessed me with that. You know, this is a great example of what Jesus said when he said, love your neighbors yourself. And these guys I went out with fishing, you know, they're all like, hey man, you just keep all the fish. And what a blessing to love your neighbor as yourself. You know, that means that I'm going to love somebody as much as I care about me and my needs, then I'm going to care about theirs. And we'd be a whole lot better off in America if we would treat each other that way. So thank you guys. I sure appreciate you. We're going to enjoy this winter. I had to show you this guy. This guy is called a saw guy, and he's actually a hybrid between a walleye and a sauger. And I caught one, but mine was a little undersized. This one was the right size to keep. But boy, they are mean dudes. And I got the teeth going on just like the walleye does. And I mean, they're like a beast when you catch them. I mean, their gills, they've even got, this is pretty cool, they've even got a little spur right there, looks like a briar sticking out, that they can get you with. So, and they stick everything out and just flare all up, and they're like, sucker, I'm gonna hurt you. But this is one of the best eating fish right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and fillet this one up, and then this is the one I'm gonna cook up for lunch here. Oh, I can't wait for this. This is gonna be delicious here. It sure does look good. Okay, so I opted for some buttered cauliflower to go with it, and I think that will, just the buttery flavor will be a melt in your mouth to go along with this nice light fish. So cut a few of these guys off here. Okay, you always put a little bit of salt, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this cook, and once it gets almost there, and then right about 10 minutes before it's done, then I'll go ahead and bread my fish up and go ahead and fry that up to a nice golden brown. Okay, and then take some peanut oil, and I tell you, I love peanut oil to cook my fish in that, because it just puts a good flavor to it, and always makes it turn out really good. So if you haven't cooked in peanut oil before, give it a try. Now we'll heat our grease up a little bit, and then we'll dip our fish in the egg. And then what I've got is I've got a little bit of flour with some pepper and salt, and then a little bit of cornmeal in there too, and that'll brown up really nice and golden there. Okay, our oil's nice and hot, so let's dip this guy in here, put it in the bag. Oh man, this is going to be so good. Look at the size of that fillet. I mean, that's a nice one there. Put it in here and close it up and coat it up real good. What do you think? Oh yeah. Now with my cauliflower, what I like to do is I cut my butter up and lay it in the bottom. Oh my goodness, nobody tell my doctor. Dr. V, I hope you ain't watching this. Okay. I'll just put that right over the top of it. Just enough in there for a helping, and we'll leave the other cauliflower still in there in the hot water. That way when you go back for seconds, then it's still hot for you. Okay, let's flip this fish. Looky there, folks. What do you think? I hope I catch a whole bunch more of them. Okay, so I'm going to put all this together and I'll show you what the finished results look like. Okay. So what do you think? It looks good. Let's go try it. That is amazing. Well, friends, it's delicious. Make sure you take some time to get out and do a little bit of fishing or hunting, because the end results are just remarkable. Well, thank you so much for going with me here on this trip and enjoying the food with me. And I'll see you next time on the KY Woodsman. God bless you.